Some people are waiting for the Calgary real estate market to crash, but will the Toronto market come to Calgary? Let's have a look. Hey everyone, Justin Havre here. For those who don't know me, I've had the privilege of helping Calgary families find their dream homes since 2005. Over the past 2 decades, I've guided clients through every market cycle, booms, busts, and everything in between. I know how confusing and exciting these shifts can be as it creates opportunities for those who seek them. Today, I want to give you a clear, data-driven look at the current real estate landscape in Calgary and the surrounding areas as we move through spring. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or keeping tabs on your home's value, understanding the real estate market is key. So let's get you up to speed on what matters most for your current situation. In this video, we'll cover the latest sales, price, and inventory stats for Calgary and nearby communities. What's fueling the big market changes? How the recent Canadian election could impact our economy and real estate? What today's mortgage and interest rates mean for your plans? My top strategies for getting your home sold in this new environment. After years of intense seller market conditions, we're finally seeing things shift towards a balanced market. In April, sales dropped by 22.3% year over year, but inventory more than doubled, with over 5,867 homes now on the market. That's giving buyers more options and more time to make decisions. While sellers, you need to be more strategic than ever, but more on that later. The City of Calgary benchmark price was $591,100 for April, which is down by 1.4% year over year. There were 2,236 sales, which is still above the historical trends, but 22.3% lower than last April. We saw 4,038 new properties enter the market, which brings our total inventory count to 5,867, which is 115% higher than last year. What does this mean? This means that we're currently sitting with 2.62 months of inventory, which is now entering into a balanced market conditions. In the last several years, we have had a very fast-paced and tight market conditions favoring sellers. So this is great news for the buyers that are in the market, and I would say for those people that are looking to perhaps make a transitional move, because now there's more options and more choices. So let's dive into the stats of each market segment. For detached homes, we saw 1,102 units sell in April, which is down by 16% year over year. We saw 1,907 listings enter this segment, which is up by 17%, bringing our total inventory to 2,511 units, which more than doubled last year's inventory. We're sitting at 2.3 months of inventory, which is indicating that we're moving towards balanced market, but still relatively tight conditions, especially in the lower price detached homes. Our benchmark price is sitting at $769,300, which is up by 2.4% year over year. The price trend we're seeing here is that they are remaining stable with modest growth, particularly strong in the city center. In the semi-detached home segment, we saw 190 units exchange hands, which is down by 25% year over year. We saw 350 new listings in this segment enter the market, which is up by 19%, bringing our total inventory to 484 available properties for sale, which is up by 133%. Our months of supply is sitting at 2.6 months, which is moving towards balanced market conditions as we are now entering that territory for this property segment. The benchmark price is up by 3.6% year over year, sitting at $691,700. Prices are rising slowly, with the city center seeing the highest gains with 5% year over year, while northern districts remain stable. We saw 355 townhomes exchange hands, which is down by 26% year over year. We saw 695 townhomes enter the market, which is up by 34%, bringing the total inventory to 1,005 units, which nearly tripled the inventory if you compare it to last April. And this is the highest inventory level since 2021. The months of supply is now sitting at 2.8 months, which means we are in balanced market territory for townhomes. The benchmark price is relatively flat, up by 0.5%, sitting at $457,400. Now, what does that mean for the prices? Well, they remain steady overall, with some offsetting regional declines in north and northeast, balanced by gains elsewhere. Now let's talk about the condominiums. There were 581 units exchanged hands, which is down by nearly 30% year over year, but still well above long-term averages. We saw 1,086 new listings enter the market, which is up by 4%, bringing our total inventory count for apartments to 1,867 units, which almost doubled from last year. The months of supply here, definitely in balanced market territory at 3.2 months, but it varies district by district. The benchmark price is flat year over year, here, which is sitting at $336,000, but it is 3% below last year's peak. Prices remain stable overall, but a 2% decline in Northeast District, where supply is the highest, where we have over 7 months of supply. Calgary's market in April 2025 is moving towards balanced across all housing types due to surge in new listings and rising inventory. Detached and semi-detached homes continue to see modest price growth, supported by tighter supply in the lower price ranges. Row homes and apartments have stabilized in price, with more supply easing pressure, especially in segments and districts that previously saw high demand. This means buyers have more choice and time, while sellers need to be more strategic with pricing and marketing to succeed. The April 2025 Canadian election has brought some policy stability, although maybe not favorable for us Albertans, but some global trade tensions and inflation risks remain. Most analysts expect no major shocks to the housing market in the short term, but we are watching for any changes to interest rates, migration, or housing policy that could affect affordability and demand. Here's the thing, if you look at all the big cities across Canada, Calgary remains a magnet for Canadians seeking affordability and jobs. And after the election, we've actually had a lot of people seeking to move to Calgary because of the election results. More new listings and new builds mean buyers have more choices, especially in the mid to upper price ranges. The Bank of Canada policy rate is currently at 2.75%, with a high likelihood of another rate reduction here at the next meeting in June, with most 5-year fixed mortgage rates in Calgary around that 3.79 to 3.84%, with a 5-year variable near 4%. These rates now do change on a regular basis, and we are seeing some upward pressure on the fixed rate mortgages because of what's going on in the markets. If you're someone who's looking at selling your home here and you're a little bit concerned about what is going on in the housing market, obviously there's less demand, more competition because inventory is up by 150%. Sellers, here's what you need to do to stand out. You need to have that strategic price from day one. The first 3 weeks on the markets are critical, and that first impression starts with price. You also should be investing in staging and professional photography. Presentation matters more than ever, and believe it or not, your first showing is actually online. Be ready for negotiations. However, if you have the right pricing from day one, along with the right marketing strategies and the right presentation, because you only have that one opportunity to make a first impression, you actually could potentially get into multiple offer scenarios. Leverage a tested and proven system. The Havre home selling system has consistently delivered results for families in every type of market, ensuring your property gets the right exposure and the best possible outcome. When we market a home, we're not testing our marketing strategies because they've been tested and successfully accomplished results over 11,000 times here in the marketplace. Now let's dive a little bit into the rental market. If you're an investor, obviously this is a segment that you want to have a pulse on. The rental markets are down. The average rents have dropped by 6% year over year, with 1-bedroom apartments averaging around $1,600 to $1,630 per month and a 2-bedroom at about $1,930 a month. This marks the first annual decrease since the pandemic, following several years of double-digit increases. Vacancy rates are rising. Calgary's rental vacancy rate has jumped from 1.4% in 2023 to nearly 5% here early 2025, and is expected to approach 6% as more purpose-built rental units are completed. This means renters now have more options and landlords are facing more competition. More supply, lower demand. The main drivers is a surge in new rental construction and a slowdown in population growth. Calgary has been affected at quickly adding new rental units, including office to residential conversions, which has eased the pressure on the market. The bottom line is Calgary rental market is now more favorable for renters, with lower prices, higher vacancy, and more choice. And again, landlords are being pretty creative with some of the incentives that they're offering to renters. Now, what are we seeing in the mortgage environment? Well, 5-year fixed mortgage rates are sitting in around 3.79 to 3.84% as we're making this video, although these rates may change day to day. The 5-year variable rate is sitting around 4%. As I said earlier, the Bank of Canada policy rate at 2.75%, with further gradual cuts expected here in June, as economists are predicting a high likelihood of that happening. This means buyers can lock in attractive rates and sellers can expect steady demand, especially in the affordable segments in the marketplace. So Calgary's market isn't crashing. It's actually balancing out, which means there's more opportunity for both buyers and sellers. And this is where it's critical to work with a trusted real estate advisor to help you navigate all the little micro markets within the market itself. There are definite opportunities on the buying side, and for sellers, there's great opportunities there as well. But you need to have strategic pricing and a tested and proven marketing plan that is going to deliver results. It is all about exposure when you're selling and having more potential buyers see your home, because that means that you are going to extract the most out of the marketplace. And we are also seeing pockets of multiple offers. So again, if you're a buyer in the marketplace, it is always critical to be prepared and have a plan as well, meaning that you have secured your deposit and have that pre-approval from a mortgage broker or a lender, ensuring that you're ready to act. And if you want a personalized update on your neighborhood or want to talk a strategy about your home, drop a comment below or reach out to us directly at 403-217-0003, or you can visit calgary.com, which has every single property available here in the marketplace. And if you speak a different language, you actually have the option to translate that website into multiple languages for your user experience. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more market updates and real estate tips, making home ownership a reality here in the marketplace. And again, there's no place like home, and there's really no place like Calgary.